We are back! I've had a fantastic 6 weeks sailing from Salvador to Rio de Janeiro and Montevideo as an engineer deckhand on the Dutch Tallship Oosterschelde, which is currently doing a world trip for the Darwin 200 project. It's good to get experience on other big sailing ships, because so far I have sailed as a junior officer and engineer on cargo and dredging vessels, but never professionally on sailing ships. Working on this beautiful ship has given me a lot of ideas and motivation to get our own boat ready for adventures. I had planned to make some videos on the boat, but working 6 hours on, 6 hours off leaves little time outside of watch besides eating and sleeping. For me it was a great experience, and the Oosterschelde is taking 24 passengers on each leg of the journey. So if you've always wanted to sail on a tall ship to beautiful destinations and you have some free time in the coming 1.5 years, do check out their website dutchtallship.com. I'm going again for 6 weeks in the beginning of February, and no, they are not sponsoring this video. My name is Gijs and this is my dad, and this is Schoener Tijgerhaai. We have recently started a major rebuild to get her ready for new adventures, and we're sharing the process with you. Subscribe to stay tuned. In the time that I was away, Dad's been working very hard to install a bulkhead in the middle of the engine room. When the ship was still a tugboat, the space was taken up by the massive engine, and after that, during the last world voyage, it was a very spacious workshop with a lathe and a big column drill. Now the space has been split in half, so there's room for 2 more cabins. Mom has been taking some videos on her cell phone, for which I'm very grateful, so don't mind the shaky footage.
I'm trying to fill a gap. The last piece, the last straw that breaks the camel's back. But it is not the way I wanted. There's a bit of a difference in height. I've been painting. Look, white and grey.
And the result is fantastic. Last week we've been busy with a lot of aluminium work. The dinghy came back from the sailmaker with a new storage cover, so now it's taking up a lot of storage in the shed. Before we can put it back in the davits, it needs some final modifications. During the first few tests, the boat had too much sideways drift in my opinion. We've already added some bilge keels to increase the lateral area, but I'm not yet satisfied. So we've looked through our pile of aluminium leftovers to see if we could substantially increase the lateral area again. There we found a nice 4 meter T profile of 2.5 inches high. We decided to leave the horizontal part on, to give the keel some rigidness and a flat area to rest on when we put it on the beach. is niet daarvoor bedoeld.
Dat was een beetje de bedoeling. Tenminste, het klemmetje van die touw.
Die is voor in de bloopers.
Kijk, je kan het touwtje wel gebruiken, maar hij schoot uit het klemmetje.
Lesson learned. Use proper slings when hoisting the dinghy. Luckily, no one got injured, and apart from some scratches on the paint, the dinghy was undamaged. Finally, we have some working space in the shed again. We also noticed something weird about the wishbones. The plates that connect the wishbones to the sail track are rather long. So when the sail catches wind and gets pushed into shape, it will always touch these plates. We got the wishbones second hand at this shipyard when it was still operational. But we don't actually know from which ship they come and don't have any records or pictures of how they were used. All we can do is modify them so that they work in the way we want to use them. To trim the sail in the wishbone, giving it either a flatter or fuller shape, there's an outhole line connected to the end of the wishbone. We're just missing something to make fast the line, so we're installing a cleat on the base of the wishbone. Before I left, I replaced our manual hand pump toilet or head for a Yapsco quiet flush electric head. It's important to us that anyone sailing on the ship can comfortably go to the head. We've installed a normal Yapsco electric toilet once on our previous project boat and that worked great, but it was also very loud. Especially when there are cabins or bunks nearby, which is unavoidable on a boat like this. You don't want the head to make a lot of noise at night. That's why this time we're going for a quiet flushing head. A few days after installation, we noticed some water on the floor. And after some closer investigation, it seemed to be leaking from the bowl itself. I contacted Yapsco for advice and they responded very quick and friendly. The holes are vent holes that allow expansion during the ceramic firing process for the bowl. And there shouldn't be any water behind the sealant. So they advised me to send it back to my supplier to be replaced under warranty. So props to Yapsco for their quick response. It took 2 months for the new toilet to arrive, but now I can finally replace the leaking head. And the new one works perfect. Those were some small in-between jobs that we can tick off our list. Now that the weather outside is cold, rainy and even snowy sometimes, it's perfect to continue our work in the wheelhouse. That includes insulation, interior and navigational equipment. So that's what we'll be busy with in the coming videos. But this is all for now. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.